Hello, welcome to ITV News. This is Calendar with Katy Rickitt and David Hurst.
And here's what's coming up this evening.
First tonight, one of the region's leading care home bosses has called for the country to be put on a so-called war footing and volunteers to be drafted in to care for our elderly and infirm.
Yes, the desperate plea comes as North Yorkshire social service leaders warn that the county has reached tipping point over recent weeks with a huge drop in applications for the 1,000 carer jobs that are currently vacant.
They blame fierce competition from shops, bars and restaurants, all hunting for staff, coupled with fewer overseas carers following Brexit. John Hill reports.
Sheffield's Labour MPs are calling for an urgent inquiry into the death of a 5-year-old refugee from Afghanistan who fell from a hotel window in the city. Mohammed Munib Majidi's family had fled the Taliban in Afghanistan earlier this summer.
Well, the MPs want the Home Secretary to look closely at the accommodation being provided for refugees. South Yorkshire's Police and Crime Commissioner has also spoken out, saying we have a duty of care towards refugees. Chris Kiddie reports.
Well, we should say that we asked the Home Office to comment about the calls for a review and we are still waiting for a response.
Now, would an extra tax on foods high in sugar and salt convince you to ditch junk food? That's the thinking behind a new proposal in the National Food Strategy. It could see the price of things like chocolate bars rise by more than 10% if the government chooses to follow the recommendations.
Yeah, but critics say it'll hit lower income families the hardest, adding around £160 to annual household spending. Nick Smith has this report. And of course, a great talking point, that including why, of course, the cost of things like salad is so astronomically high. If you want to comment on our Facebook page or on our website, you can go to www.itv.com/calendar and, of course, Calendar News on all the socials. OK, then still to come on the programme this evening. The Bradford-based supermarket chain Morrison's has accepted a £7 billion takeover bid from a US private equity firm. The board.
Businesses from across Yorkshire are playing a vital role in the restoration of Westminster's Elizabeth Tower, better known, of course, as Big Ben.
A quarry in Doncaster and engineers in Sheffield are among the firms from our region helping give the world's most famous clock a 21st century makeover. The work is expected to be finished by this spring.
Our political correspondent Harry Horton is in Westminster and doesn't it look fantastic?
It's amazing, isn't it? And the bongs are back by the end of the year, which means Yorkshire is helping bring back the bongs. And you've got a story about that, haven't you, John? Hello.
Well, remains cracked, so it doesn't quite ring true.
So we never will know what it should have sounded like.
Barley and wheat?
Go on, explain to us.
Okay, that barley's for beer, wheat's for bread, but we might be wrong. Thank you ever so
John,
much.
thanks for. Now, the ITV Evening News continues at 6:30. Here's a look at what's happening with Lucrezia Millerini.
OK, it's time for some sport now. Well, Arif's here in the studio with us, and Arif, it was quite an emotional night at Headingley.
Arif, thanks very much indeed. But just before you go, full house expected at Ellen Road this weekend. It's going back a while, isn't it? Well, the excitement's certainly building up. Let's just take a look at this. And how good is that?
And she's so excited as well. And there was definitely some excitement when Leeds and England star Calvin Phillips joined training at the club where it all began.
It was a surprise for the boys and girls at Wortley Juniors who'd followed his progress at the Euros this summer, as Katie Oscroft reports. It's great, isn't it? You know, it's just such an inspiration, you know, an England star coming to see them.
So much excitement as well.
Fantastic.
Here's the weather with John.
Yeah. John, thank you. And that's it from us. Our next update is at 10:50.
The national and international stories are next with Lucrezia.
But for now, from the team here on Calendar, thanks very much indeed for watching. Bye-bye. Have a great weekend.